In the repair shop today, handmade history as Julyan tackles a century-old instrument.
Stringing this up, I feel like I'm following in Francis's footsteps. I'm experiencing exactly what he experienced.
I've got missing feet, missing tails.
And animal magic with Kirsten.
I think I'm going to have a lot of fun making those up.
But first, another childhood delight, but on a rather larger scale. Charlotte Lovelock from Devon is here to see metal maestro Dominic Chinea.
Hello. Let's have a look what you brought.
Okay.
Dying to see what's in here. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. Well, let's get it inside. This is so exciting. Honestly, tell me about it. It's brilliant.
Okay, so this was my late grandfather's childhood toy. It's not a pedal car, it's a pedal aeroplane.
It's a pedal aeroplane. I've never worked on one like this, never really seen one. I think it's probably quite rare.
Yeah.
So this was your granddad's?
Yes.
When did he get it?
So we think he got it for about his 5th birthday. He was born in 1930, so he will have got it about 1935.
Amazing.
And it was a much treasured toy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. And then when my mum and my uncle were children, they used to play with it as well. She remembers pedalling it up and down in their garden. So when my grandmother was downsizing from her house to a bungalow, one day I was in a back bedroom and I found a bit of aeroplane.
OK.
We've got here propeller, and we found bits of wing.
Like a treasure hunt.
It was like this. And anyway, eventually I realised we had a whole toy aeroplane, so we found the chassis.
Do you know why she kept hold of it, or?
It was just a special toy. Yeah. And as soon as she saw me with it, she said, take it for the kids.
Oh.
Perhaps she didn't realise quite how poor repair it was in.
Yeah. What made you want to restore it?
So it's part of my family history.
Yeah.
You know, we've had it from new back in the 1930s. My grandfather got to play with it. My mum had got to play with it. I'm the missed generation, but I've got 3 children, and Phoebe, who was with me on that day, was desperate to play with it. And she's the same age as my grandfather would have been when he got it.
When he got it new.
Which just seems absolutely lovely.
Oh, that's perfect, isn't it? I've got one major thing that's bugging me in my head the whole time we've been talking. It's like, what to do cosmetically. In an ideal world, you shut your eyes, what does it look like?
We don't know what colour it was. So when I found it, it was almost bright red with rust.
OK.
And I just painted it with a rust stop chemical. But my mum can't remember what colour it was, if it was silver or if it was a painted plain.
Yeah.
And sadly, we don't have any photos to show us what it was like at the time. But I would love it to look as close as possible as to how it did look originally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing this in and explaining the story. It's awesome. I just can't wait to get started.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
My grandfather died about 6 or 7 years ago, and this would be an absolutely lovely way to remember him so that my children can play with it and that they'll have a little connection to him because they've never met him.
Charlotte is so lucky to have this toy plane. I just think it's such an amazing thing. And I'm really pleased to hear that she wants to be able to use it again. I can already see it's got some serious issues. This wheel is completely rotten and definitely not safe to use. I mean, I can literally put my finger inside of it. The first thing I'm going to have to do is take this apart completely because there's all sorts of moving parts inside underneath here, and I need to make sure that that is all working. God, OK. That's it, first piece off. And actually, it's worse than I was hoping. That it's completely gone all the way around. So I'm going to have to remake a much larger section of this wheel. Great. That's all done. Brilliant.
The next visitor is Kate Sargent from Leamington Spa. She's hoping the repair shop can help her play sweet music once more.
Dom, do you play any instrument?
I used to play in an orchestra. I used to play tenor sax.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I was in a brass band.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone, though.
Luthier Julyan Wallis is the man tasked with getting her antique instrument hitting all the right notes again.
Hello, you OK?
I'm
there.
fine, thank you. It's lovely to see you both.
I'm dying to see what's in this bag.
Right, well, in this bag, I have a ukulele.
Wow.
This was made by my dad in 1926.
He made it.
He made it entirely, and it's made from an old cigar box.
No.
Yeah.
Something like this came along in the Great Depression when people they were making instruments because they didn't have any money.
Oh,
so,
that's interesting.
So is this a common thing then? People did make them out of cigar boxes?
yeah,
Is it
you'll
really?
see a lot of them wouldn't have taken the labels off. You just see a label on, you'll see a brand of a cigar.
Cool.
He loved it. It was his pride and joy. He always thought it was beautiful tone. Very proud of himself for having made it. He stuck a piece of paper inside the box with an inscription on it, which says, by Francis S. Brown, 1st of November, 1926. Played lots of instruments, guitar, Spanish guitar, Hawaiian guitar, banjo mandolin, piano. He played just loved music.
Very
Just
versatile
loved music.
chap.
Yeah.
He was obviously a carpenter, I guess.
Well, that was his hobby. That wasn't his job. He just loved making things, inventing things. He was always to be found in his workshop.
OK.
But he had a desk job. He was a chartered accountant by
He was an
profession.
accountant?
And that's the last thing my father wanted to do. He really just wanted to play in a band. He was quite a man.
Clever man. To be able to make that as a hobby.
I think to have lasted all of those years, it had a lot of use. I mean, you can see by its, how worn it is.
Oh, is that
on
from
here.
his
That's
fingers?
From his fingers.
Is it? I thought that was a pattern on it.
No,
Oh, my
fingers,
goodness.
marks of fingers, and then my fingers as well, probably, when I started to play it. He taught me to play it too, when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
Oh, really?
Which was lovely.
Oh, bless.
So we played at New Year parties. I would be wheeled out to play, play a tune, Kate, and play away, and he and my mother would play duets on the piano, and his sister would sing, and sometimes my grandmother, his mother, would sing.
My goodness.
Those Christmas and New Year occasions
Sounds like
were
a big
all
thread of music going through all the
all about
generations.
making music together, which is lovely.
Happy memories for you.
Very happy memories, yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay.
So if Julian's able to...
Well, yes. I mean, do you think,
Yeah.
is it something you think? Because I know it's trickier because it is all just handmade. The pegs are very loose, they're very difficult to get them to hold the tuning.
I see.
Needs some help.
And there's a little
Yeah.
brass nut at this end, which has gone astray as well. It's missing frets. And in fact,
what
this
that
one
piece-
fell off just before I came.
That's a luthier's dream. 4 frets. That's amazing.
Nice easy
I
job
got to
for you.
contend with 24, 30 sometimes,
30. Goodness.
So if I can get this playable, will you give us a tune?
Oh,
I'd love to hear you play a little
yeah,
tune
I
if
could
you
strum. I could strum a few.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to hear it. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, well, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much indeed.
Amazing. And we'll be in touch.
Bye-bye
Thanks so
then.
much.
Bye.
See you now.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Playing the ukulele holds so many memories for me. It symbolises a lot of lovely things, and I think as you approach the latter days of your life, the fact that you can somehow link back with the very young days in your life is a really, really nice thing to do.
That's cool, isn't it? It's been well used, isn't it?
That's a lot of wear. I mean, you've got to do a lot of playing to get it to look like that.
To wear through the varnish with your
Yeah.
fingers. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Where would you start then with something like this?
I'm going to strip it back, that's the strings off, and pop these out. They're stuck in there, and I think just a gentle persuasion.
Yeah.
What I'm not going to do, all right, is if they're really stiff, just twist them.
Just gonna snap.
It's going to snap because the
Yeah.
wood could be really brittle and dried out. Construct these wooden frets and glue them on.
Yeah.
And put some new strings on and get her in tune.
That's gonna look good, and hopefully it's gonna sound even better.
Yeah, it'd be lovely to hear the old girl sing again.
Good luck with it.
Thanks, Tom. first thing to do is get the strings off and I can crack right on. So now the pegs are out, they need to be sanded smooth because the wood has expanded and contracted perhaps hundreds and hundreds of times over the last nearly 100 years, and they've changed their shape a little bit, so they're sticking. That's nice and smooth. And we apply a little lubricant. This is actually called a peg soap, and its job is to hold it in place so it can move freely but not jam up. So I'm just gonna pop it back in, and I need to keep twirling. And now that's lovely, look at that, that's really turning nice and freely. So I'm happy with that, it's just 3 more to go.
It's chocks away for the repair on the 1930s pedal plane. But the scale of the operation means Dom has radioed for reinforcements.
I'm so glad you started on this one.
I'm well into it now. It's coming on well.
OK, cool.
I'm now at the point where we need to deal with this black overpaint. This is where Charlotte, when she found it, it was covered in rust.
Right.
So she painted this stuff over it.
So she preserved it, basically?
That has stopped the rust, converted it, and left us with a nice... So it's not rusting anymore.
Right.
Problem is, we can't paint over this.
Yeah. So how do you get this stuff off, then?
I'm just working now with a little bit of very, very fine wire wool, just to try and take off the black
OK.
to reveal the original paint underneath. And if we can find enough of a patch like that sort of size,
I hear a job.
fingers crossed.
That I go and get it colour matched.
Exactly.
OK. Right. So it's a good thing I've got my gloves on.
You've got to be very careful because we don't want to remove that original paint.
I'm with you.
Because this stuff is not supposed to be going over paint, it's only supposed to go over rust. So actually, over the painted areas, it should
Just lift off.
lift off. Yeah.
A lot of elbow grease, this, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's that squeaking. My,
You're not
my
that
elbow.
old. You're not that old. Don't even go there. I'm much older than you. And I'm not squeaking. Dom, look at its colour. I think that's grey, actually.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that patch there, that's brilliant.
Tell you what, I think that's enough for me to get a colour match. Right, I'm going to get that sorted.
Brilliant.
No problem.
This whole plane is going to be sandblasted, which is the best thing to do for the metal because it will remove any rust. The problem is that's going to remove all of this old paint. But I do just want to double check and make sure that I'm not missing anything. Luckily, I've got an original sales catalogue from when this was new, which is kind of mind-blowing. There is a little RAF roundel on the back wing, and I didn't notice this first of all. On one of them, it's completely gone and it's just rust. But on the other one, I've removed the black and actually revealed another blue and red RAF roundel, which is really, really good news. So there really is not much more I can do now at this point. Jay's got the paint for the colour match. I've found all the details and the roundels and information that I need. I think this is all ready to be sandblasted now.
While the large body panels are sent away, the wheels are small enough to fit inside the repair shop sandblaster.
Now I've sandblasted the front wheels for the pedal plane, I can see properly what I'm actually working with. And good news is, one wheel is perfect. It's ready to paint. The other one, on the other hand, is not quite as happy. Amazingly, I've managed to get my hands on a replacement. It's in really good condition, but it's obviously a bit different. So I'm gonna sort of blend the two together and make some kind of hybrid wheel out of the two. So what I'm gonna do is cut this out now, and that should remove the rotten pieces. Brilliant. So all I need to do now is the same thing again, basically, on the replacement rim and make one out of the two. Now that's all done, hopefully, the new wheel rim, yes, once that's pushed down, look at that, brilliant. That's the original hub, the original backside and rim with the new outer, they're all lining up perfectly. All that I need to do now is weld that in place. I've finally got all of the pieces of the bodywork of the plane back from being sandblasted, hung up here, primed and ready to paint, which is honestly a really nice feeling. The grey paint that I've got here is as close a match as I could possibly get to the original. Now the pressure's really on me to do a good job of this final top coat, because all those hours of prep, now it really matters that this final sprayed coat is going to go on really nicely.
The next visitor also has a much-loved childhood treasure in need of some expert attention. Amy Revel from Exeter is hoping Kirsten Ramsey's skill in modelling in miniature will help to get some cherished items back on their feet.
Hello, hi. I'm Kirsten.
Hi, Kirsten. I'm Amy.
Amy, lovely to meet you. And what have you brought?
I have bought some zoo animals that are in a little bit need of repair. There's 11 of them. Some of them have cracks, some of them have missing legs, like this poor hippo. Some, like the giraffes, have some very delicate legs.
Oh, I can see that one's about
Yeah.
to topple over.
I'll lean her against there.
So where did these animals come from?
Well, they were bought, I think, in about 1945 by my grandpa, who was serving in the British Army in Germany. And my dad at the time was a toddler, and he bought them and sent them back to England to show him, I suppose, that his daddy was there and was thinking of him, but just wasn't with him in the same country.
So what was he doing during the war?
He was in the Royal Artillery. Towards the end of the war, he got seconded into this other group called T-Force. And they're a group of different people from different parts of the services that got joined together towards the end of the war to try to take documents and people and machines as Nazi Germany was falling. And because my grandpa spoke fluent German and fluent French, I think he was quite useful with the document side of things. And it was only at his funeral, one of his friends mentioned that he had been one of the first soldiers to liberate the concentration camp Belsen. And I had known nothing of that before. He'd obviously didn't want to speak about lots of the things like many people didn't want to during the war. I used to play with them a lot at my grandparents' house, and it would be one of my favourite things. I'd ask to get the box out with the animals and sort of set up different areas in the sitting room with different enclosures, different animals, and it also had the old-fashioned, like, plastic foliage that you used to find in butcher shops.
Yeah,
and used to put that around
like
with the trees.
and...
Yeah, that, like for trees. And I remember my grandpa trying to sort of tape together bits of legs and things, which probably wasn't the best thing to do with them, but to try to make them as sturdy as possible.
These are then about 75 years old.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
What is it that you're hoping for?
I'm really hoping that they can be played with.
Okay.
That's sort of getting them repaired to an extent that they're sturdy, they're more resilient. My dad died quite suddenly 16 years ago, so he never got to meet my little girls, who are very keen to play with these.
I will see if I can stabilise them.
Thank you.
So that your girls can hopefully play with them.
That would be absolutely perfect.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Okay,
Bye.
Bye.
Sadly, both my dad and my grandpa have died quite a long time ago. My girls never got to meet either of them. So it'd be a nice link that they can play with something that was bought by my grandpa, played with my dad, and played with by me as well. So hopefully they can continue on enjoying them as much as we all did. What
a lovely collection of animals Amy's brought. I think that these are made of a material called composite, which can be made up of lots of things, but I think that this is a wood pulp. I'm hoping that I can clean these up, then stabilise any cracks, fill and make up missing areas. I've got missing feet, missing tails, all sorts. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun making those up. I'm not expecting these to come up really clean. They're painted in quite a naturalistic way, and I really just want to remove any dirt that's built up from handling over the years. I'm actually going to do a bit of surgery now. See if I can remove this tape. It's a bit like trying to take a plaster cast off. Yeah, I'm pleased with that.
While Kirsten battles to get the tape off, Luthier Julyan is preparing to put some replacement parts on to his assignment. The little ukulele, handmade by an amateur musician 94 years ago.
There's only 4 frets on this. One's not attached, and 2 are missing. An instrument with 1 fret is like a chair with 1 leg. It's completely useless. So I'm making some frets out of this little offcut of mahogany, which I have, and I just have to trim it to the correct length. And then I need to put it in my little vise, plane it flat. So frets are so important because they're the things that produce the notes. Happy with the result there, it looks just like the others. This is not something I do every day. This isn't the way frets are installed. So this is new to me, but it's still interesting stuff and something new to learn. I think life's all about learning, eh? I'm going to trim them back when the glue's dried. I can also just run a sanding block over the top, and that will make them all the same height.
He may be able to take the lead on frets and fingerboards, but Julyan will need to recruit more members of the band if he's going to perfect the missing metalwork.
Hello, Steve.
All right.
Yeah, I'm missing a little nut I need.
OK.
I've got maybe the right size, but not the right thread.
All right, OK, yeah.
So
Let's
if
have a
you've
look.
got one, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I should think I've got one there.
Brilliant.
Let's see if... I've got this drawer of small nuts and bolts that I've had for decades. And you get good at searching through, and you know certain nuts and bolts that you've got.
I bet you do.
You've searched through it so many times that you just get to know everything.
Yeah.
I know it's nuts, but... There we go.
Got something there, mate.
Well done.
Is that it? You're so quick. Cheers, Steve.
It's been a heroic effort by Dom, battling to get the 1930s pedal plane airworthy once again.
Look at that. On its wheels, finally. It's really starting to look like a plane again. It's been nice and simple, no problems. Oh, that's actually famous last words. I probably shouldn't speak too soon because I'm not there yet. But all this has gone on really well. Time to tackle that propeller. Ah, typical. OK, I did speak too soon. This is the drive for the propeller, and it's supposed to go through this piece of wood and line up with a tab on the inside, and of course it doesn't. That's no problem, though. I just need to make a little adjustment in there. We should be OK. Brilliant. God, that propeller actually does cause quite a draft. I can feel it. That is a relief. Oh, I'm chuffed. Got a few finishing touches to go, then it's ready to get back to Charlotte.
This little plane entertained generations before falling into disrepair. So Charlotte brought it to the repair shop in the hope her children would get to continue the family tradition. Now she's back with daughter Phoebe to pilot its first test flight.
I'm really excited to see it. I don't think I'm that nervous because it was in such a bad state of repair that I'm just hoping if it even works that I'd be really happy. Phoebe is the same age as my grandfather was when he got it.
I can't wait to pedal in the plane.
Oh. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, Charlotte, you okay?
Hello.
Good to see you.
And your name is?
Phoebe.
Phoebe. How old are you, Phoebe?
5.
5 years
5.
old. OK.
You know what, Jay? I think that's the perfect age.
Perfect
size.
Perfect size? OK. Shall we show it to you?
Yes.
I feel a bit nervous.
So do I. OK, you ready?
Wow, it looks amazing. Thank you so much. Look at it. I can't believe it. What do you think, Phoebe?
The seat's red.
Yeah, to match the wheels.
Do you think it looks like it might work?
Yeah.
I think it does.
So, Phoebe, are you ready to have a go?
Yes.
OK, follow me. Come on. There we go. Can't wait for this,
I know.
You ready?
Yes.
Get pedaling.
Oh, look at that, man.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
I'm flying!
It was so much better than I could ever have hoped for. It's working, the propeller looks amazing, and it's painted, no sign of rust. Well done, Phoebe.
Woo! No,
Look at that.
here we go.
That is quality.
She looks so happy.
Bless her.
I really enjoyed riding the pedal plane because I went really fast when I was going down the hill.
Well done.
It was so emotional watching her. She was having such a great time, and that's how it should have been. The toy is there to be used by children, as it would have been done years and years ago. I mean, it's a timeless toy.
As the plane wings its way back to the West Country, Kirsten is tending to her menagerie of ailing animals.
I think I'm now ready to move on to consolidating some of these pieces. Because they are a wood pulp, they're slightly porous, so I just want to seal the areas where bits of the limbs have been lost, but also seal the areas where the paint has come away as well. For the consolidant, I've made up a solution which is conservation-grade adhesive mixed with acetone. The poor zebra, I think, has come off the worst in terms of losing the painted surface. I'm going to take it right the way up to the edge of the flaking paint, and what it will do is be absorbed underneath the flakes of paint. It just gives me a good, stable surface to work on. I'm going to leave that now for the consolidant to soak in and to harden off. And meanwhile, I can make a start on filling the baby giraffe. I've had a little go at straightening its leg. I've just sort of pressed it into shape, and I'm now going to fill these missing areas here. I'm going to use a wood filler. It's slightly softer than the filler that I would normally use for my ceramics, and I'm just going to add a little bit of dry ground pigment to match it as closely as I can. Each one of these cracks, as I put the filler in, it's going to just help stabilise it so that Amy and her children can enjoy playing with these figures again.
This is filling really nicely. And even on that leg, it's starting to look a lot better. I've got the hippo here. What's clearly missing is one of his legs and a section of this foot as well. Fortunately, he's quite a sturdy chap with quite sort of stocky legs, so there's not a huge amount of refinement there. I'm going to make up a paste and just model him some legs. So I'm just going for a rough shape. And as this starts to harden, I'm then able to maybe add a little bit more on or refine the shape. It's really lovely. Just observe their little quirks and characters. So that's the hippo. He's standing on his own 4 feet again. I'm now moving on to the fun bit, the bit that I absolutely adore, which is the retouching and bringing these back to life. I think with anything like this, there's a real balance to be had. I want these to go back to Amy and to be the animals that she remembers from her childhood. However, I do want to freshen them up and just give them a little bit of life. The hippo looks brown, but actually there's quite a lot of red coming through. So I'm going to put out a few different colours and blend them together and see what I need. I'm just going to stipple the paint onto the hippo, and that's 2 things. One, I'm trying to mimic the surface that's already there, but also I'm feeling my way, trying to sort of find my way into the technique and the colour. I've got very little to go on. I'm just using these as sort of little hints at how it might have been. I think he's lovely. I think he's coming together beautifully.
Julyan has cleaned and repaired the make, do and mend uke. Now it's time to restore its voice.
So finally at the stringing stage, and I've never had to bolt strings on before. And it works an absolute treat when you can get the nut on. It sounds so simple, but boy, is it the fiddliest job in the world. Stringing this up, I feel like I'm following in Francis's footsteps. I'm experiencing exactly what he experienced. Such a mellow sound to this little ukulele. So that's 3 down, and now for the last string.
This ukulele was handcrafted from a repurposed cigar box by Kate's beloved father, Francis, nearly 100 years ago. And it holds dear memories of playing music together as a family.
I've been looking forward to this moment for quite a while. It's like being reunited with a bit of the past again, to have it back. I'm hoping that the ukulele is going to transport me back to my childhood when I was 10 years old, sitting playing it with my dad. That would be a lovely thing to happen, wouldn't it?
Hello. How you doing?
Fine, actually.
Hi, how you doing, Kate?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great to see you again.
And you, it's good to see you. I'm so excited to see what's under that cover. Poor little thing, strings all broken, frets all missing, tuning pegs loose and not working, and just feeling sorry for itself.
You ready to see it?
I think I am.
Do the honours, Jay.
Okay.
Oh, would you look at that? Here, that's beautiful. Isn't that stunning? That is just lovely. And the frets, you've had to make some new ones of those, I guess. You know, they just look identical, don't they? Oh, that is so lovely. And they can just turn you. Oh, listen. Oh, is that not beautiful? It's just lovely. Do you know, isn't it a sweet sound?
It's beautiful. It's very, yeah, it's lovely.
I think, oh, do you know, that is the greatest thing. That's just like being 10 years old all over
Oh, that's
again.
fantastic. It's brilliant.
Look, isn't it perfect? And it's got all its character and loveliness from, you know, the marks from just being handled.
You can see where he played it, can't you?
Yes,
You know?
I mean, this is going to have lots of happy years of playing ahead of it now, isn't it?
So Jules tells me he had a little bit of a deal with you, that you're going to give us a song if he's able to fix it.
He did.
Is that right?
He did, and I said that I would. I might just need a little practice.
Yeah.
Do you ken John Peel with his coat so grey? Do you ken John Peel when he's far, far away? Do you ken John Peel at the break of the day with his hounds and his horn in the morning? For the sound of his horn brought me from my bed, and the cry of his hounds which he oft times led. Peel's tally-ho would awaken the dead, or the fox from his lair in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That is beautiful, Kay. Well done. That is really, really good. That's
Really
made
good
my day.
And very brave of you.
So when was the last time you played that?
So that would be about 60 years ago, probably.
This is a lovely way to celebrate your childhood, your father, and his just making ability. And now you're able to go on and play some more.
It's just lovely. I am so, so appreciative, Julian.
You're so
Thank you
welcome.
so much. Sweet little thing.
Hopefully that's going to last for at least another 90-odd years.
I hope so.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Thank
having it in
you.
here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
I can't believe how good it felt to be strumming it, to be playing it. I think just the sound of it, that sweet, mellow sound, really rekindled memories of my dad. Julian has restored it to the way that perhaps it was even when I first made it in the 1950s, with all of the loving marks that my dad had left on it. It's got all the use and love that he put into it, and that's great.
Kirsten's really earned her stripes with a meticulous restoration of the pint-sized animals.
I left the most difficult piece till last. I don't know why. I've been painting on all the zebra lines, and there was quite a few missing, so it's been a fairly arduous task. But I have to say, it's really starting to look like it should. I'm confident that they are going to be robust enough for Amy and the children to play with, and I hope that she will be delighted with the outcome.
75 years of enthusiastic play had left these creatures looking their years. Amy is back to find out if her grandfather's wartime gifts to her dad are ready to roam again.
It's been lovely thinking back over how I used to play with them and the time we spent with my grandparents, and it would just be great to get them back to a state where they can be played with again, and hopefully some more memories can be made playing with my girls as well. Hello.
Hi, Amy. Lovely
Hi.
to see you.
How you doing, Amy? You okay?
Oh, right, Jay. Very excited.
So when you brought them in, they weren't looking their greatest.
No, we had a hippo that happened to have a missing leg,
Yeah.
some wibbly-wobbly giraffes.
Yeah. But the amount of generations that have played with them.
I know.
It's
I
like,
suppose after 75 years, they just needed a little bit of TLC.
ready to see them?
Yeah.
Go on, Kirsten.
Oh, wow. They're actually, the little giraffe's standing up. She's not leaning in a terrible way. Can I pick them up?
Absolutely.
Can I have a little look?
Yeah.
Hello, hippo. You're looking all spruced up. I can't remember now which leg they didn't have. Wow, that's amazing. It's like it never lost a leg. Wow.
Well done.
Oh, that is brilliant. That's unbelievable. They don't look like they were ever damaged in the first place. Oh, Kirsten, you've done a marvellous job. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, my girls are going to be over the moon with these. Well, I'm over the moon with them, but they will be as well. They will be treasured.
Lovely. I'm quite sad to see them go. It's been a real pleasure, actually. There we go. I wish you many happy hours of fun playing with those.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye. Well done, you. That's
Thank
nice.
you.
So pleased. They look amazing. I can't even tell where any damage was. I mean, even like missing bits. It's really important for my girls to be able to play with the zoo animals. I played with them, my dad played with them, my grandpa bought them for my dad. So the idea of playing with something that has that link back to their past is absolutely brilliant.